How are you?
I feel like such a failure. I have not done
Okay.
any of the math homework this week.
I did the
I need to go
homework
prepare myself for
for
home.
today. I'm starting doing homework next Tuesday.
Don't put this quiz away.
Okay.
We're going to talk about it.
Guys, okay. So I went to my friend's youth last night, and I did a typical, I wrote a picture tournament. I was in the finals, and someone, I guess, took a picture of me. Someone I don't know, okay? Someone I don't know. And I noticed it, but I didn't really think much of it, so that's okay. And my other friend
Excuse me.
wasn't there. She didn't even know I was going. Sent me a picture, sent me that picture. She
Jace
said,
absent
"Oh,
today?
I know that was her, was the youth chat. So now I have a picture. She sent that picture to me. And she sent that picture to me. And so I sent in the group chat of the person I went with, along with two other people who also went with us, right? And I just sent the picture, no words, no comments.
All right.
Picture.
By all right, your story's over, right? You can pick it up later. I'm sure everybody's very interested in your story.
So interesting, you have no idea.
Okay, so grades were all over the place on the quiz. That's normal. It's how we roll. We had good grades, bad grades, and everything in between. I wanted to talk for half a second about workflow. When you go later and you graduate and you get a job, you're liable to become interested in productivity and workflow because you got to be able to get stuff done to get paid. All right? I want to talk about that in relation to math a little bit because I think some of us are kind of missing the workflow of this class, the way it works. And that's like, don't misunderstand. I'm like not even yelling at you, not even a little bit. But if you can maybe tweak the way you're approaching this class, it has a good tendency to improve what you're doing. Does this make sense? Okay. So what is step one in this class workflow? Nope. That's not step one. No, that's not step one either. Yeah, so you go find the notes video. Watch Say Ed Notes video. How should you watch it?
On YouTube.
True.
At normal speed.
At normal speed is a good first suggestion. That's a good first suggestion.
With intention.
With intention is a good thing, although vague. What do you mean by watching it with intention? Okay, listening to what I said is important, quite important. True enough. True enough. What should you do with that? You should write down the useful things that I said and the useful things that are on the screen. True enough. Easy peasy, right? What else is intentional when you take notes? What? See whether you understand it. If I do more than one example, which I usually do, what would be a great strategy to use at that point? That's right. That's a great strategy. Pause what I'm doing and then try it. Did it match? If it didn't, if your answer doesn't match what my answer did in the video, what should you do then? After you cry a bit. No, just kidding. Okay, so figure out what you did wrong. There are two options for that. What are they? What did you say? No. Like, so you messed up, right? You did something wrong. There are two reasons, possible reasons why that could have been. What are they?
Careless mistake didn't understand it.
Or you didn't even know like what you were doing, right? If it was a careless mistake, what do we do with that? Fix it. No big deal. Who cares? Don't say, I'm so bad at math. I'm a failure. If you made a careless mistake. You shouldn't say that anyway, but like definitely if you made a careless mistake, you made a careless mistake. No big dealio, move on. Right? What if it's the second one?
Ask you.
You could ask me. When can you ask me?
At a reasonable hour. Yes.
You don't even have to do that. I just may not answer you at an unreasonable hour. If you're doing your homework at midnight, you can message me then. Who the heck cares? I'm not going to answer you at midnight probably, but you know, I mean, if you were working at 3:30 this morning, and I happened to look at my phone when I took the dog outside in the front yard to see if he would go to the bathroom, and then saw some large creature coming around the corner and clap real loud, I'm pretty sure it was a skunk that was like this wide. It might have been a possum. Either way, it was large. It was like this big by this wide, coming around the corner. It could have been a raccoon. That is possible. I didn't even think about a raccoon. There are a few. There's not very many around here, but there are a few.
That almost exactly
Did you really?
happened to us, but it was crawling across the top of our fence. I don't know how that
Yeah. Honestly, size-wise, raccoon would make sense. It did appear as it was, I didn't get a good look at it, but it looked like it had white stripes on its back, so I'm still thinking skunk, but don't know. Anyway, I might have answered you at 3:30 in the morning. It's the moral of that story. Okay, so you've watched video, taken the notes. What then? Do your homework. How? What should your intentionality be when you do the homework? Try. Now, I am and have been tired of that joke. Because A, it's not funny, so, once the joke's not funny. B, it is actively putting you in the wrong flipping mindset. Quit making jokes about failure. Like for months, quit making those jokes. They're not funny, which, if you're making a joke that isn't funny, then, should you keep telling the joke? What's the point of it? And number 2, stop it. Anyway, back to where we were. When you do your homework, now this is really important because this is like super important, like really important, because a wrong way to do it that is very popular and very common is to look at the notes video and try to make yours match that. Like, well, the second thing he did was this, and the third thing he did was this. That seems like something you should do, right? This kind of makes sense. Y'all are like, well, what else would I do? So, my question for you, what else would you do? Okay, so see what you remember. So that's a good thought, but there's a deeper truth in there that's worth considering. It's something I've told you lots of times. Notes are useful. That's great. But and notes are useful whether you just try it first, then look at your notes, or whether you look at your notes or you look at your notes while you're doing it. Notes are useful. Notes are super useful. But if you just try to copy what you did in your notes in the new thing, something is missing that is vital to you actually improving. What's missing? What? Yes, you are. It's a good thought, but no. What you are not doing if you just do that, if you're just like, okay, well, we did this, so do that. Do this, do that. Do this, do that. Is you're not stopping to ask yourself, why did we do that? So when you're doing your homework, don't just try to match the steps because there's too many. You can't memorize that far. You're good, but not that good. So make sure you understand why the steps happen, yeah? Because then you can actually improve. I didn't put the grade in the grade book on the quiz because we're moving to a next phase. Next phase, we show up to class, we take questions over the homework, right? That happens. When should you ask questions on the homework? In class, great. But if you just missed it because it was a careless mistake and you know that, should you waste everybody's time and ask about that one? Probably not. Most of the time I'll indulge you anyway, even if I'm pretty sure that that's true. But if you're confused about something, you missed it and you're like, I don't know why I missed this. Was I confused? I don't know. while you were there, your brain needs to be turned on, because what could happen is you could end up taking a quiz on that material. What would be expected would be that you tried to work on the homework. There may have been something you were confused. There may have not been. We don't know, but you should be fixing that error in your brain as we work through stuff. That's the goal of that portion of the workflow. And then the quiz, you get to say, okay, am I actually remembering it on my own? So then you get the quiz back. You get a 52 or 100 or whatever, right? If you got a 52, I have told you many times, grades are something, not something else. What is the phrase that I love to use for you there? Grades are information, not condemnation. So what does that 52 tell you? There was something that you were confused about. So what should your next goal in the workflow be? Sometimes there's a quicker fix. A lot of times. Like there's one of you that made a pretty low grade, and it's because you got confused and you were doing it backwards. Instead of adding, you were subtracting. Excuse me, other way around. Take that and reverse it. Instead of subtracting the exponents with the division, you were adding them. That's an easy fix. That's a 2-minute fix. When I'd give your quiz back, I'd say, are there any questions on your quiz? Either I've written that on there and you want to make sure you understand it and you double check that thing, or you're like, I don't know why I missed this. I thought I was rocking. Or it could be, and this is 120,000% acceptable at this phase in the workflow. This is very okay. You could be like, okay, I know I missed this. I was confused on the homework. I was confused in the notes. I didn't understand it when I took the quiz. I'm still confused. What would be the best time to start to fix that? Now. So you can be like, okay, could you just do number 11 or whatever it is real quick? Because I feel like there's something big I'm missing, but I don't know what it is. You don't even have to give me all that information. You just say, could you do number 11 real quick? And then we do number 11 real quick, or whatever it is. And then you have two possibilities. Either there was something you were confused about, we fixed it right then, no further steps are required other than just studying to make sure it's still there when you go to the test, right? Just iron. When you're studying for the test, you should just be ironing. There should just be some little wrinkles at that point. That's your goal. If you're like, I still don't understand lesson 7-2, I feel like I'm banging my head against the wall. There are 3 options. Well, 4, but we don't include the 4th. What are they? Ask for office hours. That's easy. I swear to you, office hours is an easy fix. I promise I am nice. I am. And we can do that. We don't even have to get out of your pajamas because we can do it over Zoom. And we do it real quick. 20 minutes usually. It's usually all it takes. Not always, and sometimes we need to do a couple things, and we've got some other things we've got to build, whatever else. But usually, at this point, if you're in my class, it probably is a 20-minute fix. Probably. That's one way. That's probably your most efficient option. It's a little scary because you have to be like, Mr. Sean, can I schedule office hours? And then it feels a little bit nervy and all that stuff. But it's good and it's efficient. You know, when I taught public school, I hated contacting parents. It's a pain in the butt. I also was of the philosophy that I'm teaching high school. The kids should be talking to me right now. I shouldn't have to talk to your parent. I hated it. And so I would drag my feet and not want to talk to the parents, and I would usually dread it. Usually get tension right in here or right in here when I had to make a parent phone call. All but one time in my entire teaching career, it turned out great. The experience was good. The parent was happy. I was happy. He made good improvement. It was all good, even though I didn't want to do it. And I was dreading it. I was afraid the parent was going to be stupid and the kid was stupid and everything was going to be stupid. and it was going to be a giant pain in the keister. What I'm telling you is if you are like, I really should schedule office hours, I don't want to do it, it sounds like a lot, Mr. Sean kind of scares me a little bit still, whatever it is, I promise it's not as scary as whatever you're thinking. I'm 100% sure of that. What's another option? If you're like, okay, I've taken the quiz, I still don't get it, what's another option? You could try to go back to the same video. That's not as great of a choice, but it is a possibility. What would be a similar but slightly different choice that you could do instead that would be more useful?
Look up the same concept from a different person.
Yes. You could look at the same thing, like divide it, like rules for exponents or whatever it is, and go watch Organic Chemistry Tutor or Khan Academy or somebody else. Because sometimes just hearing something from a different voice is helpful. Along that same vein, you could ask somebody else in this class that made 100 and be like, hey, could you explain it to me? Because I don't know how many times this has happened. This happens all the time. When I would teach in public school or whatever else, this would happen all the flipping time. I would get up and I would say things, and I would be teaching along, and I would be saying the words and whatever else, and then a student might be confused, and they would ask their neighbor about the thing, and their neighbor would literally, because I would hear it, they would say literally the exact same words I just said. The exact same words. But now the student understands it. I don't know why that happens, but it does happen. So that's not a bad idea either. Study buddies are great ideas. What is one more option? One that is often overlooked, but honestly way more useful than you might think. What is one more option? That's a good option. That kind of falls in the second one, for sure, absolutely. If your parents can explain it to you well without being even more confusing, which if your parents are engineers, good luck. But you could try. Can be fine. There's one more option, though.
Go back to your homework. You said do the odds.
So you could try doing the odds, but if you're confused, that's probably just spinning your wheels. But that, after you've kind of done whatever these, you're like, okay, I think I got it, you could test with a couple odds. Not even doing much of them. That would be a good way to self-assess. That's useful. It's kind of like a half a step. But there's a third one that's honestly way more useful than people give it credit.
The math app, like an algebra problem.
That kind of still fits in the second one. Photomath or similar can be useful because they walk you through the steps. They can be useful as long as you use them right. The book actually walks through examples and all the things, and it's pretty good. We have a pretty good textbook. You can use it. Okay, so you've done some amount of these things. Then you've got it. You're better at the thing. Then what should happen at the test? You should make a better grade. Also, I accept quiz corrections. So,
Do we give it to you or we upload it?
Google Classroom on quiz corrections. What? Okay. Do you have any questions about the quiz? Number 8, you said?
No, 11. Is it number 8?
Okay. 11 we could do. 11 would make a lot of sense. Let's do 11 real quick. What's up? Okay. Okay. If you made like a 90 something, shut up. And what do I mean and why do I mean it? Yeah, because if you didn't struggle this, why are you saying words? You're being useless right now. You're actively hurting your frenemies. Stop that. The numbers in front, the coefficients. What do we do with this? This is the number one thing that was missed on this quiz as far as this problem. For the numbers in the front, you have to do 2 to the 5th and 5 to the 5th. Not 5 times 2 and 5 times 5 and some sort of weird subtraction. I had multiple 20s as the number, some version of that. Okay? You just got to do the fifth on the top and the bottom. So what is 2 to the fifth? 32. What is 5 to the fifth? 3,125. For the letters, we have a power to a power, right? So we have c cubed to the fifth. What do we do with those? Multiply them. So what's 3 times 5? C to the 15. And then what's 5 times 5? True enough. And then g squared to the fifth is what? What's 2 times 5? 10. So g to the 10th. Does this make sense? Are there any questions on this problem? Is there anything you don't understand why or where it came from? You don't have to feel stupid. I've talked about this before. Algebra 1 is harder than Algebra 2 in some ways because there's a lot of new stuff in Algebra 1. Algebra 1 stretches in places that weren't stretched before. So Algebra 1 there's a lot of new stuff to remember, right? That doesn't make you stupid. It makes you a noob. If it's your first time playing paintball, are you going to be as good as somebody that's played 100 times? Probably not. Same. If it's your first time playing Call of Duty, are you going to get pwned? Yes, you are. Okay. So don't feel stupid, feel new, because you are. Okay. Any other quiz questions? Whoa. All right, let's look at our homework. Rational exponents. Yes, ma'am. If you put in your calculator 5 to the fifth, you should get that. Was it 5? It was 5 in the denominator, right? On that problem? Yeah. Yeah, that's where that came from. All right, what numbers did we do on 7-3? Okay. 18 is the square root of 24. 20 is the square root of 12y. Excuse me. 22 is 4 to the 1/2. No, excuse me, 44 to the 1/2. 24 is, in parentheses, 3xyz all to the 1/2. What? Whoa. Number 26 is 4. 28 is 10. 30 is 2/3. 32 is 2. 34 is 2. 36 is 5/2. 38 is 125. 40 is 8. 42 is 16,807. 44 is 16 over 625. 46 is 2. 48 is 1/3. 50 is 2/5. 52 is 2. 54 is 1/4. And 56 is 1/7. What questions do we want?
All of them.
48.
48 sounds great. 20 was the square root of 12y.
And what's the question number again?
48.
Or like anything after 48. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Got a exponential equation. Take the log of both sides. No, just kidding. That would be a dumb way to do this problem. But it would be a way. Y'all don't know what I'm talking about. It's fine. You don't got to know yet. So, what do we need?
Something to do.
True enough. What do we need on this problem? Ultimately, yes. We do need the bases to match, right? So we've got 3 over here, we got 27 over there. If we're really lucky, we can write 3 to something equals 27. What number might we try here? 3? Sure. What is 3 cubed? 27. Oh, it worked. So we can turn this into 3 cubed to the x equals 3. Now what could we do? Yeah, sure, that's fine. So we got a power to a power. What do we do with those? Multiply. So we have 3 to the 3x equals 3. Now what? Let's reteach really simply. Really simply. If I write this, 2 to the x equals 4. What does x equal? 2. Now, let me show you something else. If we have 2 to the x equals 2 squared, that's the same, right? X equals 2. If the bases match, then the exponents have to match. What's the exponent on this guy? 1. So if the bases match, the exponents have to match. So 3x would equal 1. I bet we can solve that for x. How would we do that? Divide by 3. Easy money. What other homework questions do we have? Sure. What?
I thought I wrote 22 twice. I just have a very bad tooth.
I was printing some things in Rochelle's class earlier today, and I was sitting there, and she was asking them about something. They had done this lab, and this girl in there was like trying to read what she wrote out the lab. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I have terrible handwriting. I don't know what I did." All right, so the instructions say to write each expression in radical form or write the radical expression in exponential form. Is this currently in radical form or in exponential form? Radical form, so we got to turn it into exponential form. So the square root would be what power? 1/2. So this would equal 44 to the 1/2. Qué bueno. sure. Okay. All right. We've got a fourth root of a fraction. How do we take a root of a fraction?
Move the square, not the square, the root thingy over into a fraction over on top, right?
Oh, that was funny. Move the fraction of the root thingy onto the top of the thing, right? Yeah. I don't know whether that was right or not. I got lost after Okay. When we take a root, let me ask you, let's simplify. Let's dumb it down. Ask you something really
I
simple.
feel like I dumbed it down pretty far.
That confused me in between.
So many ways.
What's the answer to that?
4 ninths and 1/2.
Square root of 4/9.
1/2. 4 ninths to the 1/2.
No, not convert it to the rational form. Y'all quit like taking off the table. Okay. Not that. What is that simplified?
16/81.
You squared it.
I don't know.
What's the square root of 4?
2/3.
That was useless because I want you to be here. Anybody new here? What's the square root of 4?
16.
Square root, not squared. What's the square root of 9? 3. How do we root a fraction? But what?
I forgot the word.
It's probably a simpler word than what you're trying to come up with. How did we root a fraction?
I don't know. I just put it like calculator.
Well, that was useless, wasn't it?
Yeah, I just like.
Okay, so how did we do it? Let me ask you something. Where y'all are making things too complicated up here. Simple it down, dumb it down for yourself. What is the answer? What is the simplified version of this? Don't touch your calculator. 12. Why is it 12? Because 12 times 12 is 144. So when we rooted the fraction, what did we do? Baby words, people. Baby words. What did we do?
2 times 2 and 3 times 3.
So we rooted the top and the bottom and wrote those out, right? So to root a fraction, you root the top over the root of the bottom. Same. Don't touch your calculator yet. Don't even touch it. I know, me in the video was like, just shove this in your calculator. He was a little bit dumb. I want you to lock in with your brain first, then calculate. Okay. Especially because when we do this in Algebra 2, if you just write the answer, it'll be like all wrong. You have to show me all the steps. Here we're a little bit more loosey-goosey, a little. So when we root this would be the fourth root of 16, right? Over the fourth root of 8, D1. What is a fourth root? What do it mean? Not divided by 4, but I'm glad we're participating. That would be that. It almost looks like a division symbol, which doesn't make it any easier to remember. So, what does a square root mean? What number multiplies times itself? How many times? Yeah, so this is a square root, so 2 times. So, what number times itself 4 times is 16? Let's try that for a second. 4 times 4 is how many? 16. Oh, we're already blowing it because if we do another 2, he says 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 16. Is that right? Double check it. On your calculator, ready to go. Give yourself a sanity check. Great. What times itself 4 times is 81? He says 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Times 3 is 27. Times another 3 is 81. So 2/9 is the answer. I did mean 2/3. Thank you. I didn't say 2/3, but I did mean to say 2/3. That was the intention.
What was the answer to number 26?
26 was 4.
Can you do that one?
Sure. The 5th root of 1,024. Put your calculator down. What does the 5th root mean?
A number raised to the 5th power equals 1,024.
Yes. What does raised to the 5th power mean?
Times itself 5 times.
Times itself 5 times. So what number times itself 5 times equals 1,024? What is your guess? 4 or 2, both make sense. Both make sense as a guess. Try it. Figure out which one it is. 4? Question mark. Why am I doing this? Yeah, that's more right than I even guessed it would be. Yeah, I want you to understand what you're doing and why you're doing. Everybody knows how to push buttons. You've been doing it since you were an infant almost. You've even been pushing haptic buttons. You've been pushing buttons that are not even buttons. That's crazy. Right? You know how to push buttons, but if you just push buttons, that's not going to be very helpful. What other questions do you have? 28. What do you think times itself 4 times is 10,000?
I just was trying to do that.
10 would make sense because it's a power, or 10,000 is a power of 10. It's got all zeros, so try 10. See what happens.
Whoa, crazy.
I think we should do another one in the 46 to 56 range.
I agree with 56.
Sure. 56 is fine. But I think we're going to do 50 instead. I'd love that for you. Because 50, would you quit that? Because 50 illustrates a stop sign that happens sometimes on these. You have to add an extra layer of thinking. You're going to end up with an oh no moment. Yes, ma'am.
I did, so 41 before, I did 27, and the exponent is 1/3.
Yeah, that's what it would be.
Yeah, but I didn't know what to do with the next one.
X equals 1/3. What? I'm confused. I don't know what you're saying. Do you know what you're saying? Okay. All right, so what do we need to happen on this? We need the bases to match. So we got a 4 over there, we got a 32 over there. So if we're really lucky, there is something that we can do 4 to the something equals 32. If we're really lucky, it'll be a whole number. Try it out. What's 4 squared? 16. So that's not it. What's 4 cubed? Are you sure? Try again. Do 4 cubed. 64. Oh, is that what you meant to say? Probably so. It's 64. We've already overshot, so sad day. There's not a whole number. Oh no. So here's the pathway I like to teach. There's other ways to think about it, but I think this one's the easiest to remember what's going on. So we can't use 4 as the base. So we need to change this base to something else. We need to change 4 into something to the something else. Can we write 4 as a base and an exponent? 2 squared is 4. That's true. 2 to the 2th power. That'll work. So now can we do 2 to the something equals 32? 2 to the what? 2 to the 5th. So we could turn this into 2 to the 5th to the x, right? We got a power to a power. What do we do with those? Multiply them. What's 5 times x? 5x. Oops. What can we do now that the bases match? Yeah, we can just kind of poof them away because we can say if these bases match, then their exponents match. So 5x equals 2. What now? Divide by 5. And x equals what? 2/5. Yeah, 2/5. Which is a slightly better word than 6ths, but only slightly. No, 1/3 was the answer to the other one. Worcestershire. Worcestershire. That's how you say the word. And if you split it into the 3, it's easy. Worcestershire. That's how you pronounce the word. Look at that. If you're feeling extra silly, that's fine. Can we do 44? I bet we can. And then I think maybe we'll take a quiz. We'll see if anybody else needs something extra special. Nope. 44. Ooh, look, 44 is fun. Good choice. I'm not sure that was appropriate, girlfriend. Sometimes you can make an appropriate one of those. I'm not sure that was the moment, though. Okay, this is the problem. What do we need to do? No, I shouldn't throw it in the trash. That's no good. Okay, so it's to basically distribute. Sure, it applies to the top and the bottom. 8 to the 4/3 over 125 to the 4/3. True enough. Easy peasy. Now what? What does 2 to the 1/3 mean? I said to the 4/3. What does that mean? What does the 3 mean? Yeah, what were you saying? I interrupted too early. Yeah, so the 3 is the root, right? So this would equal the cube root of 8 to the 4th. And this would be the cube root of 125 to the 4th. What does the cube root mean? What times itself 3 times is 8? So what times itself 3 times is 8? 2, true enough. And then the cube root of 125 will be what times itself 3 times is 125? It is is 5. That should be a 4, right? I don't know why I wrote 2. What would we do now?
Distribute the x from it.
It's already distributed.
Like,
Do it. Do the thing. What's 2 to the 4th? 2 to the 4th is not 8. Why does my stream keep stopping? What are y'all doing?
He's hit it really, 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 really hard. Man.
Charlotte, you're doing so quiet.
She fixed